Hey, Camryn, you're in the chat room right now, so if you're listening to this, hi. If you're listening to this later, hi as well. Yeah, cool. Let's click on the link. Look at your stuff. Cool. Wix. Okay, cool. So right up front, you have your job title, or your story artist, a link to your resume, nice little hat image. I like the hat image for obvious reasons. Your about is right there. Sketches, figure drawings. Cool. We're right on storyboards. Dope. Stuff is right up front. You got the 16 up and the single panel. It also may be my computer, because this thing is not geared for streaming and recording and looking at websites at the same time. So it might be my computer that might be rendering your site somewhat slow, because I've seen like Wix sites with embedded slideshows before, and it's generally not very slow. So like I think wonkiness with your site is probably on my side. But let's see. Let's go right into the stuff. Cool. Whoops. Cool. Cool. A nice castle. Cool. Cool. Let me widen this because for some reason the arrows, the keyboard arrows are both panning the screen and going slide by slide. Okay, so these are cuts. Cool. To different girls. Cool. Okay. Okay, so the P is observing. All right, cool. This is the tilde of Northridge. Nice. Cool. She looks around. Okay, cool. Decent camera move there. Okay, so all right. So drawing a lot of humans, and you're into fantasy stuff. Cool. All right. Good human stuff. Good human drawings. I'm gonna look through going into him. Hey guys, we gotta get the supplies. Remember? Cool. Okay. Okay, those are good over the shoulders. I'm losing geography a little bit on where they are in related to the kids. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Let me look at the other sequence. Okay, got a little bit of a screen direction problem there because he's going left to right and now going right to left. So we've kind of broken the 180 right there. Okay, and now they've turned the corner, and now they're going left to right again. Okay. All right. So your dog drawings are pretty nice, and your human drawings are pretty nice. Okay, cool. Cool. So, okay, cool. So, yeah, looking at your stuff, um, let's see. I want to feel. I want to feel the character. I want to feel whose POV we're in, whose character POV we're in. So for instance, let me go back here. Okay, so this is like narrator. This is omniscient storytelling. Okay, cool. Like we're going into the castle. Cool. Omniscient storyteller. We're in an omniscient point of view. We're just narrating stuff for the audience. Okay, lift a little P. Cool. For as long as kingdom is stood. Okay, so here to here, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It looks like it's being placed between two mattresses, but that feels like a background cut. So she's grabbing the whole container here, and then this is a background cut, and she's placing the P, or she's placing the P here, or I guess this is multiple shots of her placing a P, but looking at it, I'm not reading that. So I need a little bit more information as far as what's going on there. Because I guess these are multiple shots of her of the somebody placing the P. Because then you do these multiple shots of this, but I'm not reading it. I'm not reading it. I'm just not quite reading what's going on. So time after time. Cool. Cool. Okay. So this to this to this. I'm not quite sure what this is telling me, because this character is the one that's facing us, but we're on this character's back, and I feel like because this is a failure beat, I feel like I want to see. I guess I want to see her, like, I want to see this character failing, and then I want to see her reaction to it, or a change of expression. Like the girl gets out of the bed and she's like, "Yay, I did it!" Right? Like she comes forward and she's like, "Yay, I did it! Right? I'm the best." And then we cut to the grandmother, and then, "Yay, I'm the best!" Right? And then we go and then we widen to go over the shoulder to transition to her point of view, and she's like, and then, her hands up here, like, she's sighing. So I'm not sure what the visuals are telling me to feel. So it's not yet feeling like film, where the images are leading me to make conclusions, to feel something. And there's that. It's a really dumb thing, but there's that famous experiment. Oh God, I can't think of it. Is the Kuleshov effect? Let me look this up, because this is really important. Kuleshov? Yeah, there we go. The basics of film editing. Cool. All right, yeah. This is super dope. Okay, cool. So it was an editing experiment that really shows how images in film generate emotion, right? So look at it. This is the same character. So if you read these images left to right, in rows, this is the same character. You cut to him You cut to the guy, you cut to a bowl of soup, and then you cut to the guy. And it's the same image, but it reads like he's hungry, because it's telling the audience that the soup is important. So you're connecting soup to the guy, because you're saying, okay, guy, soup, back to guy. That makes that makes meaning. That makes, okay. Hey, audience, there's this guy. Hey, here's this soup. Here's the guy again. Okay, guy must be hungry. Here's the guy. Here's uh, somebody who's a little child or a little girl that's dead. You cut back to the guy. He looks sad, and the audience reads that as sad. You cut to the guy. You cut to a woman. You cut back to the guy. The audience reads that as, oh, that's lustful. Yeah. So it's a very important effect in filmmaking, because it allows the audience to, or leads the audience to think something about a character, or it leads them to a conclusion. So with your images, I'm not quite sure what you're leading me to. So I get this, like, okay, rainy night, and then you're leading me to, okay, there's a hooded figure, right? And then we cut to the inside, and or I'm assuming this is inside, but the problem is, because this door here is at the same angle as this door here, it makes me think that this is just a cut in. That this is just a cut in on that door, and especially since they're, candelabras at the same height as these flame torches or scones, it makes me think that this is a cut in. So okay, and then we cut. So we're cutting inside on this door. So I'm slightly confused from here to here, and then we cut to that, and I'm slightly confused, but I guess because he turns, it's going to be revealed. Okay, I understand. So I understand why you were leaving me in the dark there, because now this is kind of revealed. This is a reveal that this P is turning around and that it's alive. And okay, cool. Huh? What? Who could be there at this hour? And then, so this character, so the P turns here, but who could be here at this hour? Because I don't see the geographical relation of the P to the inside of the door, I have no idea where that P is inside the door. So, or where that P is inside this area. So, I mean, I think you do the shot later. We're over the shoulder on the P there. I guess there's the thing. We're over the shoulder on the P, and then there's the door, and there's a guy here. But I wasn't feeling like I knew where the P was in relation. So I'm kind of losing. I'm losing what you're trying to tell me. I'm losing what you're trying to tell me how to feel. So this guy comes forward, and then he opens the door, and I'm not sure why we're cutting into this, right? And also, I'm losing in the shot from here to here. I mean, this is a simple thing, but I'm losing him opening the door. And opening the door is like a really good visual reveal for characters, because the door is closed, and then you open it, and it changes the context of the scene. The scene was about a closed door. Now it's about an open door. Now it's about this person that's there. So doing that in the same shot and actually seeing him open the door is like a super important moment. And you don't want to get that. You don't want to lose that in a cut, because revealing who's there is reveals are always important. It's always important to see things that happen. Cool. So now I get context because I see that the P is seeing these two characters. Okay, cool. So okay, cool. Poor thing, so wet. So now I see that the P sees her, and I see how the P feels about her. So this is the first moment where I really feel I understand what you're trying to tell us. Like, you're trying to tell me that that Penelope, the P, is sympathizing for this new character. So okay, so you're building a little bit of relationship. This is the first moment where I really get it. I really start to understand. Cool. And then we go this way. So then, unfortunately, we cut. So now in your triad of characters, the P is here on the shelf. The door is here. Here's character A. Here's character B. And this shot is from here. That's your number one shot, right? So technically, kind of your line of action is right about here between these characters, because that's really who your scene is about the P here, and then the character who entered, the hooded figure. Whoops. Let's actually move the camera back a little bit to make it a little clearer. Yeah, so the camera's probably right about there. Cool. So your line of action now, because you've shot here on this side, is here. So this is your line, or sorry, this is your line of action here, and this is your 180 degree roll. Now, in the next shot and the counter shot after this, we're now cutting behind now this character. So now it feels like, I guess technically we may be still in that zone here. Like maybe this shot is from here, so technically we're in the zone. But now you're splitting your characters so that they're on different sides of the screen, and then the P is over here. So if the P is over here, then I guess technically the P is over here. Where's the P? Oh, sorry, I'm getting confused now. Let me back up. Okay, so the P is there. Okay, so okay, so here. So I guess the P is here, and here's the door, and then this shot is looking that way. So here's your 180 degree rule, and this shot is looking over here. Cool. Oops, I skipped forward. Sorry. Go forward. Yeah, so your two characters here were on the left side of the screen, and the P was on the right side of the screen here. Cool. So now these two characters have flipped, so she is to the right of the guy. So, and it would have been an easy solve if you had drawn this shot as like, here is the girl right here, the guy is right there, and then the P is up here, and they're going through this door, right? So now this preserves what side of the screen your characters are on, because so that's the P here, and then girl here, and then dude here, and then in the other shot it was P there, dude in the center, and then girl there. So that would have preserved, that technically would have preserved, you probably would have been shooting here, and then the P is on the right side of the screen, and then the girl would be here, and then the guy would be here. That would get your characters in a line to preserve screen direction, and screen real estate for each of your characters. So and then since when they're walking up, I'm not sure why we're panning so high. I feel like this is supposed to reveal something that's up here, like there was a sign up here, like Princess's Castle or something like that, but I'm not sure why we're panning so high. I'm not sure what you're trying to show us there. And then we cut to this angle, and again, this is another story or another shot where I'm not sure what this shot is about, because I've already seen the spatial and the geographical location of the characters here. So we've panned up, and then this is still, we're not necessarily getting any new information about this shot. This is just a shot for him to say, "May I please take your coat, Mrs. White? What is your name, dear?" And okay, I understand what this shot is. It's Princess Matilda of Northridge, but please just calling it though. What a lovely name. Cool. And then she looks off screen left, and I'm not sure where that guy came from. I can't. He just came from this hall. Yeah, I'm having trouble seeing the geography. He just came from the hall, so I'm assuming that the hall is over here, just based on this shot. But then she would be looking forward, because according to this shot, she's looking straight across, or the hall would be right here. So if she saw him, she would be seeing him approach from here. So yeah, and then I think this is a cut to that. But we've broken 180 because the P is flipping the sides of the screen. So, I mean, unfortunately, you've got a good amount of geography issues, and I'm pretty confused. I'm pretty confused whose character I'm supposed to be following. If I'm supposed to be following the P, or if I'm supposed to be following the girl's point of view, or who I'm following. And now the scene is behind the P. So yeah, so unfortunately, because you're dealing with 4 characters, the prince, or I guess five characters: the prince, the girl, the kind of butler guy, the P, and the queen. You're dealing with some tough geography, and I'm not sure whose point of view I'm supposed to be in for most of these. And then the character geography is a bit wonky. So I would really work on your 180 degree rule stuff. I would really work on looking how dialogue scenes are staged, in order to keep things clear and understand exactly whose point of view we're in. The thing that I always say that has helped me, the piece of advice, is watch shows like Star Trek: The Next Generation with the sound off. Just watch them completely with the sound off, and look at how information bounces, or especially bridge scenes. Information bounces around the scene, extremely simply, but they have a lot of characters to deal with. Like information, like the way that it can bounce around in the Enterprise E, or the Enterprise D, sorry, is information comes from the view. So this is a thing, or let's say information comes from Worf at a terminal. Worf looks up at Picard. So information goes from Worf to Picard. We cut to Picard to see how Picard sees about that information, or how Picard feels about that information. He says on screen. Once he says on screen, we go to the view screen. Now the view screen has new information. The view screen has new information of, oh shit, it's a Vorlon. No, it's not a Vorlon, because that's Babylon 5. It's a Romulan. And so once you cut to that view, once you cut to the view screen, the new piece of information is oh, it's a Romulan. Then you cut back to a single on Picard to see how does he feel about that Romulan. Oh, he knows that Romulan, and he's slightly worried and also slightly angry. He says a side comment to oh god, Mariana Sirtis. I can't think of her character name. Deanna Troi. He says a side comment to Deanna Troi, asking if she senses anything about this Romulan. So the information bounces from Picard to Troi. Troi says something, so we're on a single on Troi. Then Troi bounces that information from her back to Picard, We go on to Picard to see how he feels about that information. How does he feel? He's done with this conversation. He says, terminate the conversation. And then you cut back to the view screen, and then it's off. And now there's no new information coming from the view screen. Now Picard wants to go do some research with somebody. So he walks over, and we follow him to Data's station. Now that scene is about him and Data. We do singles and over the shoulder on Data and Picard. We just bounce that ball back and forth, and then Picard. Then we're on Picard. He needs some new information. He turns around a full 180 degrees, looks over at his number one, at Will Riker, and then we see the relationship between Will Riker, the physical relationship. The information bounces from Picard to Riker. We cut to a single on Riker. He says his thing. We cut back to Picard and Data, who are both processing that new information, and then they react, and then the scene is over. So watch how the Next Generation bounces information around and juggles character point of view. Picard is generally the point of view character for bridge scenes, but sometimes it's number one. Sometimes it's Data. And they do a lot of really interesting staging in just dialogue scenes, and get characters walking around and juggling different POVs. So I would watch a lot of those bridge scenes and just internalize what's going on, and notice how you can tell what's going on, even without the audio, even with just the visuals. Like, you can see how Data feels about this. You can see how Picard feels about that, just from where they're putting the camera, what they're showing you before, and what they're showing you after, and it generates meaning. So, like, you cut to Data's face. He's blah, 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 blah. You cut to the console. You have no idea what's on the console. It's just a bunch of random numbers. You cut back to Data's face, and he frowns. You know exactly how he feels about the console. So again, it's back to that cool shove effect. It's back to images and time generating meaning. So I hope that was helpful. I would watch a lot of that. Watch a lot of that stuff. Watch Simpsons with the sound off. Just really notice where they're putting the camera, why they're putting the camera there, and how they're trying to make meaning by using shots in time. And once you've internalized that stuff, that sounds super easy to say, but once you really got that stuff down, then your storytelling will be down, because you know exactly what you want to say, when you want to say it, and how you want the audience to feel about specific moments. Hope that was helpful. Thank you very much for donating, and talk to you soon.